Hello everyone and welcome back to Turnabout Serenade, the third chapter of the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney game, which I'm playing the Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. And we are doing the trial. All right, we're July 9th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for, how do I say that? Maki, oh man, I forgot that the names and the countries and the language was all weird. Maki Tobaye, Your Honor, the pixie of the arpeggio? Oh, there's music terms too. I'm not good at this stuff. Right, his trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is A-OK, Air Judge. Very well, Prosecutor Gavin. Ah, my opening statement, yeah? No. Actually, there's something else I wanted to ask you about. Does he want free tickets? Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. Where's this going? What do you say to them? Eh? I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon. That's horrible. You wouldn't say get well soon to somebody with an incurable disease. I mean, I guess that's true. I don't know. You'd only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is what does this have to do with the trial? Right after this trial, the Chief Justice is... Ooh. The Chief Justice? His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems. Okay, that's sad. So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day. Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like disgust. Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? That's just something random to interject into this trial. In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. You know what? I'm with you. Let's get this done quickly because I'm on a time frame here too. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly. You're in luck, Air Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. So we're blaming the blind kid, right? First, review the victim in this case. Romain Lataus. Okay, how did I decide to say this? Romain Lataus, age 35. The global manager for Diva Songstress Lamiroir. The cause of death? Blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details. The court accepts this into evidence. Lataus' autopsy report added to the court record. I always like to look at those. 45 caliber, that's quite large, isn't it? Ah, that's what she said. Okay, let me look at this autopsy report. Time of death between 9 p.m. and 9:30. Blood loss due to 45 caliber bullet wound. Time elapsed between shooting and death currently under review. I feel like that's important to know. Okay. A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet. Ouch. And he's writing something. However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved. I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering... Oh, and the crime photo. 2 shots were fired. Here, let's look at the crime photo too. Is there anything I can... Okay, I can't like click on anything or investigate anything. 1 shot missed. The other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall to see... Wait, weren't there 2 holes? Observe the diagram. Yeah, there were 2 bullet holes. Oh, but yeah, that's right. So this is where the bullets hit. Okay, 1 went through him. That's right. I see. The court accepts this evidence and diagram added to the court record. Here, hold on. Let's look at that too. Is there anything I can click on in here? No clicky. Okay. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use. Really? Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body. Is he calling the judge weak? He's right there. The defense will take more care in choosing examples. Yeah, he's right there. As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door. Are we not going to talk about the vent that was in the room too? That does seem to be the case, yes. However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. He's talking about you and Emma, huh? Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course. But that's impossible. Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person. One person? That is, of course, the defendant, Maki. So they're saying that the person who shot the gun has to be this experienced person. They don't think that a high caliber revolver... I don't know. I know I'm from Texas. I really don't know that much about guns, shockingly. But If it's a high caliber weapon that the kickback could really hurt somebody, how do they think a child did this? It's okay. We'll figure it out. We're going to work through the evidence. The defendant, Maki Tobaye. Only this defendant could have committed the crime. But how? It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear. Very well. I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please show the witness to the stand. Okay, so Emma's a witness? Well, I guess that makes sense. I mean, she's the part of the law enforcement. Your name and profession, please. Ema Skye. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night. Emma seems tired somehow. Well, she was probably up late. Security at the concert, you say? Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder. True. Now don't blame yourself. Things like this. No, I mean, that is true. That was literally her job. I made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know? I'm sure that makes her feel much better. I want to hear about these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered. And we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of the day and your discovery of the crime, please. All right. Ooh, murderous circumstances. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it. So she's blaming the child too? I like how I say that I'm like shocked that they're all blaming the child, and I myself started off blaming the child too, like kind of more in a joking way, but now it's like getting real serious. It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene. That door was the only way out of the room, right? The vent! We even investigated it. Yeah, pretty much. Then I don't get it. How can they say that Maki did it? Looks like we need a bit more information. Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination. Alright. Murder circumstances. Night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Press. The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes? That's right. What was the detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert. My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods. So he's using his power as a prosecutor to make a detective come to his personal rock concert? That sounds kind of like an abuse of power. Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say. The stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall? Conspiracy? Well, isn't it obvious? My keys. That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined. And it's all because someone stole my keys. I couldn't ride my hog to the show. I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again. Yeah, making it about himself. Somebody died, Gavin. Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? And the dead guy just happened to have them in his hands? I don't think so. Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder. That's what I said! Wander into a murder victim's hands on their own. What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, that makes you a prime suspect. What? Ooh. How the turns have tabled. Love, slow acting and new. A troquinine is waiting for you. What words are these? He's singing something. Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was like a sailor adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. I see. I can accept that. Well, I can't. What do you mean time on their... He's saying she's boring. Please, the testimony. Oh, we're still, that's right. Only in people, okay. Only in people allowed, or involved or allowed backstage. We were let in though. I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you. I gave the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again. Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now. I don't think you want to be involved with this. Some other hangers-on tried to get backstage, but I drove them off. So no other outsiders were there then. And then, at the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots. You were the one chatting. I was eating snackies. Ah, hey, no snacking in court. And you're sure the shots came from Lamiroir's room? Yes, absolutely. Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet. A snacku! Katonk. Oh, she threw it at me. Ah, thanks. So, how about it, Emma? They're just snacking. Hard to be mistaken about that. Please, either talk or eat, not both at the same time. Gulp. Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door. I went to the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. Rock? Blaring, yes. When you say rock, are you referring, perhaps, to this rock and roll music that's so popular to see these kids and their rock and roll? That's right. When we went into the dressing room, you know, I feel like today's version of these kids and their rock and roll, I feel like that's rap music these days. Like, I feel like above a certain generation tends to not appreciate rap music as much. But, you know, I don't want to make a blanket statement. I'm just saying. It seems that way. That's right. When we went into the dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall. They piped sound from the stage into the backstage, through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage. Did it have to be so loud? You don't listen to the Gaviners with your ears. You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always had the backstage monitors at full volume. When we walked into the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime. If you could hear that music playing, then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation. I examined the scene and determined that, okay. How? How could you know something like that? We're not going to question how she thinks the child shot a high-caliber revolver. As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So, how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent. Ah. Okay, so we're finally going to bring up the vent, but that air vent was too small. Who could possibly? Oh, that's how they're saying. They're saying the kid was small. There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child. A child? Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved at the concert were allowed. And of all the people involved at the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child. The defendant? The pixie of the I don't know this word, arpeggio, flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime. But that's just conjecture. Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there. You should know, Air Forehead. And there is another vital piece of evidence. Evidence? What? Marks were found on the air vent grill. What? Did we know that before? Traces that it had been opened recently. Wait, what? And something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant knocked it to buy his finger. What? I would have liked to have known this sooner. Seems like an important thing to tell his defense team. Order, order, order. That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Air Forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Ugh. Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience. Whooping? Whooping? So this was his decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. I mean, I feel like if you're small enough, you could get through the vent whether you're a child or not. Simple and decisive. Ugh. I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict, even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit. What? He's just gonna call this child guilty because he needs to get out on time? I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough. Ugh, it can't be over already. Very well, I believe this trial's finished. Sir, if the defense has no contradicting evidence, the prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it'd better be clear and plain. Ugh, Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. We'd better come up with something quick. I know. Think, what can get us out of this? We need evidence or a witness that can prove Maki is innocent beyond a doubt. Without that, Mr. Justice, do you have a contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now. This is it, and so soon. If I mess this one up, it's all over. The court wants wants contradicting proof. Ooh, oh man. Okay, show evidence, call a witness. Can we call Lamiroir? I'm gonna call a witness. Prosecutor Cabin, you claim that there's no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear it on my career as a prosecutor. Oh, that's right. When he died, his dying words were to ask the Siren, who is Lamiroir. Okay, so I was on the right track. I just didn't know why. I think I'm on the right track. And on my $1 million seller hit, what is that word? Atroquinine? My love. There he goes again. Okay, I'm gonna look up, what is that word? Atroquinine? I don't know that word. It sounds like a medical word, but I don't think it is. It sounds like certain medications. It's funny when I Google that word, it comes up under the Ace Attorney wiki. So I don't think it's a real thing. It's a very potent poison that paralyzes the nervous system. Am I spoiling myself by looking that up? I hope not. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness. Oh, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge the prosecution clearly does not? Because I am the only one in the world who knows this. What's going on? I just talked to him and now... He's alive. Mr. Lataus, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. Spoiler alert, he wasn't fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Lataus. Tell me, who is the witness? The witness is Siren. What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not. That's true. I mean, not me. Apollo was the only one there, so how is he going to prove that? What do you mean by that? All we know is what Air Forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorneys himself. That is true. Sorry, Apollo. But it's the truth. He said it. I even told you about it. But apparently you ignored me completely. It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job. That's enough. Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty. Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for. No, it's gonna take off 2 bars. Ugh, there's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice. Okay, Phoenix? I mean, he hasn't even been here in this case yet. We're gonna go with Lamiroir. Lamiroir? Recall Mr. Lataus' last words. The witness, it's Siren. The Siren. Aha! He meant the Siren. Yeah, that's what he said. That's right, the Siren of the ballad, Lamiroir. Lamiroir was only on stage for the second set, and she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness. Well, that's what he said. I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin, my claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime. Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Ema Skye's cross-examination. Please show Lamiroir to the witness stand. Lamiroir would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. That sounds a little violent, but okay. It is my distinct honor to welcome the Siren of the Ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind. Ah, you can speak English? Yes, I can. Though I am not very good. There's much I do not know. You speak so well. Have you spent time here before? Actually, I do not know how I came to know my knowledge of your what? Nor where I studied it. Is she playing coy? What does she mean she doesn't know? I too, though, thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course. What's that? Lamiroir suffers from amnesia. Amnesia? What? Lamiroir is not my true name, yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought. As lauded singer Lamiroir, she lives a good life. I feel like I have a pretty good vocabulary, and I still don't understand some of the words that this game has. There are little difficulties for her thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress. I see. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lamiroir. Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness? What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what happened. Lamiroir, let me be frank. I do not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet, that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Rude. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo, you're the bad guy. Ugh. Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime. As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room, and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying. I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Wow, you just got badder, Apollo. Way to go. Ugh. Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet. Lamiroir wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what. What I saw. As for what I saw nothing. Well, hold on. I guess we'll press on everything like I usually do. But you must have seen something. Mr. Lataus named you. Mr. Lataus? How can I tell you what I don't know? Lamiroir, he said you were a witness with his dying words. I do not know what he meant to say, but that night I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. Maybe? I actually feel like I don't need to press on that. I did not return backstage after the second set. You did not return backstage once? Where were you then? What were you doing? I was cleaning up on stage. Cleaning up what? There are many things I must do for a performance other than simply sing. And what was Maki with you at the time? Oh, and was Maki with you at the time? Unfortunately, I do not know where he was. So much for an alibi from Maki. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details. How was the incident explained to you? I was told nothing in detail, only that Mr. Lataus died. Of course, investigations require some security. But Mr. Lataus was my manager. I wanted to know more. I should have been told. Both Maki and I were beside ourselves with concern. Allow me to apologize, but please understand. Keeping you in the dark was as painful for me as it was for you. Yes, I understand. Think, what doesn't ring true about her testimony? It's hard to imagine Lamiroir lying. She might not be lying, but she's hiding something. What wouldn't she tell me the night of the murder? Okay, so I missed something. Here, I don't think I pressed on this. It was a great concert. You heard me sing? Thank you. I was hoping to get an autograph later, actually. This is not the time, Apollo. Of course. Mr. Justice, this is a cross-examination. You're out of line. If anyone deserves an autograph here, it's me. On my gavel. One on my gavel would be nice. Air Judge. What's this? It's my autograph. Now keep this trial moving. What? Oh, my grandchild will be so happy. Apparently his grandson is a big fan. Let us continue, shall we? If you would, Lamiroir. Tell us what you did after your stellar performance. Okay, so I pressed on that. I didn't press on this. With Maki, correct? How was he then? He seemed as he always does, though I believe he was shocked by the news of Mr. Lataus' death. Yet, he is not the type to show much emotion. Yes, he's given the police no end of headaches. He answers most questions with, well, he doesn't speak English, and those glinting frames speak nothing. The questioning hasn't gotten very far. Get a translator. We sat there, waiting. Okay, so I'm missing something to present. What do I have? Okay, I have the crime scene. Victim shot in the shoulder, autopsy report, keys, mixing board. Oh, her brooch was in there. Is that important? I mean, that might be important to present. I think I'm gonna present that here. I think I'm gonna present this brooch because I think that means that she did go back. Objection! I'm sorry, Lamiroir, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not? Why, that's Lamiroir's. She was wearing it for her song. Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin? What? This brooch was found after the murder. Exactly. At the very scene of the crime. What? Lamiroir, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? Exactly. And, as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. Ah! her face fabric blew up. What is this meaning of this? Lamiroir, please explain. Lamiroir? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. She says English is quite difficult. That trick's not gonna work here. Yeah, we know you speak English. Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact. What now? In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for— Wait, so if he knows this language, how is he not questioning Maki? Isn't it the same language? Yeah, I'm confused. How is he saying that they're not getting anywhere with the questioning? Oh, but he did say he was met with silence. Okay, so maybe that's what it is. The kid's just not talking at all. I went backstage, but only for a moment. What? Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak. What? Is she really saying all that? Yeah, I feel like— how do we know what she's saying? What's she talking about, Apollo? Right when the incident occurred. Ah, is she talking about that? Wait, what are we talking about? Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup. Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Mr. Letowsk. Oh, here? Cold, so cold. How many times are we gonna have to relive this guy's death? Yes. You're good. How many times are you gonna tell this man he's gonna be fine? He's not fine. Yes, the witness is Siren. Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Gapes! Emma, what was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now? Huh? No. I could have sworn I heard a door close. The vent. It was the vent. I looked into the room. Oh, just a glance, mind you. So this is when your brooch dropped? That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it. But that's ridiculous. You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch? Air forehead. Yes? She has raised a possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence. So she looked in at the crime scene. Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. Air forehead shouting, "Who's there?" No doubt. A horrible voice indeed. Hey, let's not get personal here. I closed the door immediately. Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony. That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lamiroir, you did look into the room though, right? Yes. Testify as to what you saw. Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses. When my performance was finished, I went backstage for just a moment. I saw nothing. The late Letowsk's body was behind a wall. Okay, so we don't need to do that. Then I was led by the police to— okay, so I think we should press on this. This is a new statement. I saw nothing. The late Mr. Letowsk's body was behind a wall. A wall? Was there a wall there? Is what in English? A division or partition, I believe. Yeah, there was one. It was a large dressing room, divided into two halves. And the murder took place in the inside half. I guess that partition might have hidden the body. Oh. Oh, I just realized we can, I think we can, use the sensory thing, the the bracelets jiggling up there. I don't see her doing anything though. Is there something I can see her doing, like a twitch? Yeah, perceive, that's what it's called, perceive. I don't know, I don't really see anything. I guess maybe we can try to perceive on her new statement. I saw nothing, the late Mr. Toss's body. Let's try that. Let's try perceiving here. I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latouse's body was behind a wall. Ooh, I did not mean to stall there. Here again. Kind of hard to see with her face mask on. Well, her mouth moved. Oh no, okay. Is it because she's talking? I guess it's because she's talking. Okay, her eyes aren't moving. Okay, maybe not. Let's actually, instead of perceiving, no, I guess that this would have been right, because I was gonna say maybe we could present this, but the divider really is right there. I mean, you can still kind of see the body. It's like angled. I'm gonna present this and see what happens. Objection! Your Honor. Oh, that statement. No. Okay, that means I'm wrong. It does? I don't see anything contradictory. You sure about that? Okay, objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Justice. No, I lost a point. That didn't go so well. Okay, is there anything else I could present here? I feel like, I mean, obviously this is gonna be important later if it's part of the, court record. I feel like perceiving is the right thing to do, maybe. Here, actually, let's press here. What did you see in that brief glimpse? I'd only opened the door slightly when I heard that horrible voice and shut the door. I've always wondered, Air Forehead, does that voice of yours lack a volume knob? It's my cords of steel, man, just back off. Okay, that doesn't seem like the right thing to do either. Usually it's the new statement. Let's perceive here, maybe? Maybe I can see if she's got like a twitch or something. Yeah, it's just her mouth moving. You can't really see... So you can't really see her hands. It's pretty much... I mean, her face is covered. The only thing you can really see is her eyes. Maybe she gets like a twitch or something. I see nothing here. Yeah, no twitch. Nothing. Oh, okay. Maybe I did notice that. Okay. Yeah, her neck is moving. Gotcha! I feel like there was one part where I was like, I think her neck is moving. Then I was like, no, but I don't know if it was here. The late Mr. Latouse's body, you say? Yes? You know something more about Mr. Latouse's death than you were saying. What? I could see you trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes. You can fool my eyes because I did not see that. It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latouse have to be shot? One moment, Lamiroir. Yes? What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latouse so yeah, how did she know he was shot? Yes? She was hiding something, I knew it. Lamiroir, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony. Eh? How could that be? Take this. Lamiroir contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it. Oh. Wait, what? How does she know he was shot? That's my question. Should I put this? Uh-oh. Huh. If I do not misunderstand the meaning of oh, okay. Dang it. I clicked the wrong thing. Your evidence is meaningless. Okay. Oh no, I'm gonna lose another point. Darn it. What did she say again? Why did Mr. Latouse have to be shot? That's right. That totally contradicts her testimony. Take this. So because she said she didn't know anything. Well then what? The picture?
Take that!
Oh no, I keep getting it wrong. Oh no, what do I need to present? Oh. Okay, so how would she have known this? Okay. I think I need to present this. Information concerning the crime to be restricted to police and related. I mean, I guess she's kind of a related party. Tell me, Lamiroir. How did you know he had been shot? Eh? Well, immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court? No one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yeah, she's a liar. Yet you knew that Mr. Lataus had been shot. How could you have known? Got her. Can you explain yourself? Lamiroir, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet. Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony. It's just too little too late. All we want to know is the truth. She looks kind of pale, huh? She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Lataus had been shot. Oh, okay. Only a glimpse, yet you knew there were bullet holes? Yes, I recognized them immediately. I've seen bullet holes before, you know. You've traveled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous in our country. I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days. That's really cool. I hope I get to travel like Lamiroir someday. I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, you know. Maybe I should go on a Chords of Steel tour too. Okay, is there anything new? Okay. So bullet holes in the wall. And knew Mr. Lataus had been shot. Is there... So, oh, I have another... Okay. So I think I need to present this now because, like, look. If she opened the door, she would not have seen those bullet holes because the door would have been blocking her. So I think this is what I'm supposed to present now. Lamiroir, they call you the Siren of the ballad. But lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. A put-down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice. Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo. Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lamiroir, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct? Yes, that is so. There were bullet holes in the room, yes? But they were in the wall the door is on. You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. Exactly. Lamiroir. Yes? I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something. And I must tell you? I must tell you what it is that I saw? Yes! It's literally what you're supposed to do in court. The happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it will be on the news in how did I decide to say this? Borginia? You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Lataus died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamiroir. Give it up. Very well. Lamiroir, please continue your testimony. Very well, I shall. What I saw too. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. Oh, we did see that. That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Maki. It was a grown person. I know it was. So you did witness it? Why didn't you just tell us this from the beginning? And the killer was a grown person, you say? Ugh, this is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Air Forehead. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination. Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lamiroir. What's wrong? You don't look too happy. This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. Okay. I'm curious, is that little window on this diagram? Oh, actually, I don't think it is. Okay. Where can I repress? There was something like a little window over there. That's how I saw it. What exactly is something like a little window? Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said, yes. You need not worry, Lamiroir. Your choice of words is impeccable. There's a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail? That little window on the wall. I, saw the crime from there. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. You're certain you heard 2 shots fired? Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That was when I heard the second gunshot, much closer. And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradictions so far. It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do. It was a grown person, I know it was. A grown person. That's a little vague. I'm sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know. Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female. It was a man, a young man. And you're sure of that? Yes, his voice was quite clear. Voice? She heard him? Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter. As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man. So you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Lataus? Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Lataus who spoke, I would have known. Indeed. So, you were at the window, and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man. Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Maki. Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What's the defense's opinion of this testimony? It's pretty good? Well, I'd have to say it's pretty good. Vital, even. This shows that the shooter wasn't Maki. Huh. Surely you can't be serious, Airforehead. What? Why not? Lamiroir. I understand why you would want to protect Maki. Yet remember, you are the Siren of the ballad. And lies do not become such a creature. What does the prosecution mean? Apollo, what's he talking about? How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it. What? But I'm sure. Lamiroir, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser. But she's the only eyewitness we have. So you say, and the victim named her, the Siren, as the witness? That's right. That's what Mr. Lataus. We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Air Judge. Yes? The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please. Well, I feel like we're on a roll. What? Why? I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There's indeed a question of the witness's credibility. But if Lamiroir can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Maki. Yeah, I feel like this is a really bad time to dismiss her. This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case. Danke. Danke? Now, where were we? And yes, I would like to hear from Fraulein Detective again. Wait, let me hear Lamiroir's testimony one last time. The cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand. I'm sorry, I feel like we were on a roll with her testimony. This is a really bad time to dismiss her. This seems very unprofessional, Judge. I feel like this would not happen in a real courtroom. At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Airforehead? Ugh, I hope I didn't just miss my only chance. Fraulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me. I just like saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore. If you would, Miss Skye? I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Lataus' killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling. Ah yes, there's only one door in the room, and a witness, you, was standing in front of it. That air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through. I certainly would have a difficult time. You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for a killer is the defendant. A virtuoso performance. I could not have put it better myself. She does state a clear case. Though reading the report, something caught my eye. Oh, what's that? The circumstances of the defendant's arrest. The circumstances again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Maki? That was bizarre. He was just like laying there. She's right. Why did Mr. Latouse's body disappear from the room and end up on top of that stage tower, holding a guitar no less? A perceptive observation, Air Judge. Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough. You get a nose for things, heh. The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Very good, Fraulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us? Why was the body moved, and how does that lead us to the killer? Good questions. The missing body. I believe Maki stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamiroir's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim, and Maki practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Lamiroir's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. You noticed its code too, did you not? Its code? All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. Sugar, sugar, oh night in your embrace. First the keys my heart held on to so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame on stage. Mr. Latouse's life was taken by a bullet. Oh, the rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky. That's mad. It's like a story out of some fairy tale. That is a little strange. I admit, I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were. Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that. I've read of jumping rope to songs, not counting to songs. But killing? It's a wild world out there, Air Judge. Very true. Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next, the cross-examination. I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Please don't. Okay, what do we want to press on? Missing body. He moved the body to match Lamiroir. How? How would a little boy move that body? Does the prosecution have any idea why he'd do all this? You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason. A deep reason? Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And worse if he had none. The deepest complaints aside, I can't imagine someone doing this just on a whim. Fraulein Detective, I take offense at that description. Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say. Yes, this crime was planned for sure. By a little boy. Again, by a little boy. Oh, hold on. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim, are we sure? But Mr. Latouse spoke English. He may have come back to this country before. I looked into that, I assure you. No? It was his first time in this country, it seems. Apparently, he learned English on his own. Great. You see, no one here had a motive to kill him, and certainly not in such an elaborate fashion. It does seem difficult to imagine. Unless our famous prosecutor did it as a publicity stunt. He sweat. What did you say? Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song? No, he did not. Don't be silly. Of course not, and I am quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need promotion? Everyone already listens to my music. They're even in my textbook at school, and I never heard of them. What does that say about me? That you're lame. It's okay. We all are. Or I am. I was just kidding. Don't get all worked up, Glimmer Boy. Okay, that was a long statement. He left his signature at the scene. What do you mean by his signature? His fingerprints? The bullet holes in the wall, of course. Oh, the bullet holes? The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall. And that means what exactly? The dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss at that range. Difficult to miss, you say? Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim. No, you can't be serious. Maki, he can't see. That's why he missed? It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound. A blind shooter. No wonder he missed. I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. think, Justice. What do I do now? Usually the answer is to raise an objection. Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. Oh, how so? Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim. That's certainly possible. And it might have been the revolver's fault. The revolver? The revolver was a very large caliber, correct? The shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon. Why? It could dislocate their shoulder. Exactly. The defendant, Maki Tobaye, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim. Okay. Wait, but wouldn't that just, am I just saying he did it? A convincing argument to be sure. Haha, take that, smug prosecution. Apollo? Huh? What? That bit about Maki being tiny and the gun throwing him off his aim? Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it? I was about to say, that sounds implicating. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Oh no, am I gonna lose a point? Cripes, I really put my foot in it this time. Well, let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, Fraulein Detective. Very well, the witness will add this to her testimony. Ooh, okay. New testimony. From the start of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind. Or the state of the crime scene. You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that. I wouldn't call it proof per se. Huh? You've merely raised a possibility. Fraulein Detective has made a most logical conjecture based on the evidence. Of course, there's more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped through the air vent. But wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place? Oh, good point. Ah, very good point. Well, Fraulein Detective, if you would care to explain. He certainly seems sure of himself. Recall the crime scene if you would. Okay. I mean, there's a ladder. There was a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents. But that still doesn't explain how he knew it was there. I don't believe it. Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Maki Tobaye. He would have known that there would be a way out at the top of that stepladder. Why is this the first time I'm hearing about? But if he's blind, he still wouldn't know where it was, right? Could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to consider what the stepladder was doing there. Looks like the defense's objection has been squished by a stepladder. Well, air forehead? Out of ammunition, perhaps? I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood. Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of their central points. Do I have any evidence that can prove that, though? I'm going to present evidence? Fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge. As I knew you would, Air Forehead. What exactly am I up against here? The prosecution is saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Maki, who's blind, did it. The defense will please present their evidence. Oh no. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter couldn't see. Yeah, it's a tough one. Let me look at this picture. How do I prove that he couldn't, or that he could see? Is there something about his body? Maybe? Is there something about the gun? What happens if I present the gun? Oh no. Just out of curiosity, what about this photo makes you think that this would overturn? Because I guess I'm missing that part of it. Like, what about the photo would prove that the shooter wasn't blind? The blood looks weird. Well, it looked like he was trying to write something in his own blood. Here, I'll present it and see what happens. Yeah, I think he was trying to write something, but I'm not sure how that connects to the shooter not being blind. But I'll present it and see what happens. This is that evidence. Oh, you're right. Okay, I guess I just don't understand why it's right. The photograph of the crime scene? I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face, but this is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah? Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. You were right, yeah, you were right. So, I mean, the contradiction, I mean, I guess I'll point out this weird writing. But again, I don't know I don't see the connection how this proves the shooter wasn't blind. Unless the shooter wrote it, but why would the shooter write in this guy's blood? The contradiction is right here. The smeared blood stains? I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I have seen many times in this court. It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha, I get it. At least I think I get it. Get what, Fraulein? When Mr. Litthouse was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? Oh, are they saying the shooter tried to smear it himself? And what would he write but in his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here. That does seem to be a distinct possibility. The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Maybe we should get a translator who knows this language. Uh-oh, what's wrong with my controller? Drat, I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that. Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind. Neither would I. Exactly. Okay, I see the connection now. No one has anything else to say? I can't talk. About what? So the prosecution accepts this? You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out? What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Litthouse was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was, Exactly. Wait. Once he saw what it was? But what did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ooh. Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Maki Tabaye, is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. Yep. Yeah, definitely not the first time that I've gotten the answer without knowing the reason why. Please explain to me what all this means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet up until now, it seems I owe the court an apology. The Gaviners are a band with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently, this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely... Okay, that sounds bad. It's literally your job. I'm not sure I'm liking the vibe I'm getting here. Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us. Hehehehe. I've got an idea. Let's rock. With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective, if I may. What? Tell me. Why do you think that Maki Tabaye is blind? I don't know, we're not his doctor. What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course? He's the blind pianist, right? So doesn't Lamiroir lead him around by the hand? Are they saying he's not blind? No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Maki Tabaye. According to this, Maki Tabaye can see perfectly well. What? His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Virginians. He can see quite well. Uh-oh. But you said... What did I say exactly? Air Forehead? Not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. Oh. The only one who did was Fraulein detective. But that's a significant fact, yes. Yeah, I feel like that should have been presented from the beginning. This feels deceptive. Consider, Maki Tabaye sees, and he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this. But what about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Air Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, Air Forehead. Oh no. Uh-oh. I knew you didn't have what it took. You jerk. Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize. Ha ha ha. Oh, sorry. That's no way to apologize. He's angered the Trucy now. Look out. Ahem. If we can please end the bickering. Now. Whatever. I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me. But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant. Oh, don't say that. Aha, what? This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right? That seems to be what happened, yes. We might be able to find out what was really written there. Oh, really? You can do that? That's right. With this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood. Oh, yes, we have done those. Have we done those tests yet? Ha, as if I'm going to tell you. The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now. Yeah, that seems important. Okay. Right. Go for it, Apollo. Huh? I have to do the test? You just have to spray the luminol and it's simple. Okay, we're going to spray and pray. A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere. Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it. Okay. Right. Ready? As easy as pie. Just press A to spray an area. Here, give it a try. The eyes of the entire court are focused on me. Apollo, your hand's shaking. Ah, let's do this. Spray, spray, spray. Oh, am I done already? That's fast. Okay. I mean, it's obviously going to be written in his language, right? Wow, it really works. This must be the power of science. It says it picks 314206. Is that the killer's name? Obviously not. Maybe it is if the killer was a robot. Aha, I have it. So, what is it? I thought those letters IPX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol? You mean the International Police? Okay, this is getting above our pay grade here. Yes, most are undercover agents working to solve international. Is that his number? But why would he write that number? Why would Mr. Lataus even know a number? Was Mr. Lataus like acting as an agent, but he's really a part of Interpol? Good show, Fraulein Detective. Rock on. Eh? Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. No, not the guy with the hair. Is he still wearing his rock uniform? Darian, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number. Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27. I'm not sure what to think of all this. Not him, exactly. The prosecution's cases are airtight, or so it seems. Yet if this number is really that of an Interpol agent... Oh wait, I know. What if Miss Maki Tobai is really an undercover... You think the child is an Interpol agent? I think Mr. Lataus was maybe undercover himself? That would be a possibility. A possibility, yes. One that would mark him as the killer for certain. Why would a child be an undercover agent? Why did Dog's barking. Why did Lataus know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we await Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Maki Tobai. What are you talking about? Fraulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you, though that seems like a very important detail. You had me until that last bit. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Well, sure. Why did Maki pretend he couldn't see? Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Air Forehead? I guess maybe to get sympathy? I don't know. Maki Tobai pretended he was blind. Do you know why? How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he? He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? No, the moment that I heard that report, I knew why. I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else. What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Maki Tobai pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? It wasn't for himself? Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness? Again, usually the answer is show evidence. Maki had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means, no, it couldn't be. Good show, Air Forehead. It seems you've thought of something. Ugh, why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see. Is this it? Her publicity card? No. Oh, sightseeing music? No. Actually, I'm not sure. Oh. I can't save. Uh-oh. Is this it? There's nothing about being blind in these lyrics. Publicity postcard. Oh, I wish I could save. I don't know, I just feel like this postcard's important. But I don't know why. That is Lamiroir? Lamiroir and Maki Tobaye. Recall their relationship. In particular, their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country. Lamiroir and her pianist. They would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him. That's right, because he was blind. Yeah, the word sightseeing is what got me. She led him at all times, never letting him go. All times, Yet, we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Maki could see. Why did they have to keep up this act the whole time? Well, wasn't it part of their, performance? I think there's a simpler explanation. Maki did not need to be led by the hand at all. That could only mean one thing. What does it mean? Really, it was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand. Is Lamiroir the blind one? What's this? So you mean to say that Lamiroir is... she's... Yes, Your Honor. Lamiroir is... What a plot twist. This changes everything. Order, order, order. This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin. Is it now? Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim. The only thing outrageous I could see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it as not vast in vain. This time. He's quite correct. But that makes no sense. Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something? Well, since we have her here, why not ask Lamiroir herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room. Apollo, what does this mean for our case? Don't ask me, I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now. Bailiff, bring in Lamiroir. Uh-oh. Lamiroir, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way. And yet I must. Please, do not be concerned on my behalf. Those eyes. She really can't see. That's why when I was trying to perceive, I was like, there's nothing going on in her eyes. Because she's blind. Those eyes, she really can't see? Really? It is true. How funny is it that a tiny lie born in the Borgidian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world? So you were... Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became Lamiroir. Know too that my memories begin in darkness. The word light has no meaning for Lamiroir. I see. You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial, Air Forehead. What's that? I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses. Ah. Now, Lamiroir, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes? Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor? Yes? Though I admit I'm a little lost here. I think we're all a bit lost, Your Honor. Uh-oh. Lamiroir's eyes. I have no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others. But this is a murder trial. I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would... She told us the truth in the beginning. When she said she saw nothing, oh, so she didn't lie. She just omitted the truth. Very well. Does the defense have anything to add? I'd like to cross-examine. What is there left to ask? There was one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it's best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself. Very well. The defense may proceed. However, be aware this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness. Okay, there's only one part that bothered me. Just let me ask about that and I'll be happy. Okay, what do I want to cross-examine? I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So silly as it may sound, I'd pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others. Press? When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Lataus? Of course, he was my manager, so he knew. And that's what's been bugging me. Something the matter, Mr. Justice? I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You're thinking of when you discovered the body, yes? Am I? Is he right, Apollo? Yes, I was. He's alive. Mr. Lataus, can you hear me? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Okay, we're gonna go over the... Yes, no, help was not on the way. He died. Can't see. He's saying she can't see. Oh, maybe that's what he meant. Mr. Lataus told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind. I don't know. Tisk tisk. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself. Meaning, there's no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more. The witness, Siren? We've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense. I remember them well myself, but that statement is not to what I refer. I mean what he said before that. Before? What came before that? Ah! That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness. I see. Too bad the defense did not. Well, Air Forehead, try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time. Alright. Order. Recall Lamiroir's earlier testimony. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. Because she was blind? But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that. Well, that is not the most important point here. The moment he was shot, Mr. Lataus witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness? But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots. And the man's voice. Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We have already run a simulation, of course. But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant. Bailiff, Your Honor. What is it, Bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here? We have the results back from the investigation. Investigation? The Interpol number that Mr. Lataus left us. Well, let's hear it. We will continue this cross-examination afterward. Detective Crescend? Your report, please. All right, Mr. Hare. I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Darian. Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent? IPXX 314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Lataus. I knew it. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Lataus himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation. I don't want to see your hair. So when he wrote those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity. And a cautious killer tried to wipe them away. Mr. Lataus was an undercover Interpol agent. So him being Lamiroir's manager was just a cover, most likely. So he was maybe investigating them for some reason. There's one other important detail I found. Well, out with it. It concerns that .45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently it belonged to Romain Lataus. Oh, he had an Interpol permit to carry firearms, and the registration number on the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything. It's got to tie in somehow. Well, I mean, it probably gives more motive, right? To someone? Yeah, somehow. Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. I don't know how to say. Oh, no, I want to call him Crescent, like Crescent Roll. Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. It's his voice. Darian did it. The guy with the hair. He did it. Lamiroir, is something the matter? That voice just now. Darian? Mr. Darian, is it? It was him. I am sure of it. You know what? That hair is a crime, and he also committed a crime. It was him? You weren't saying... That voice I heard, talking to Mr. Lataus, when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him. I guess the band's breaking up. It was Mr. Darian. Is this some kind of a joke? Ah! Oh, no way. His hair is so inappropriate, it has to be him. Exactly. The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state, the trial had to be suspended temporarily. He should be arrested for murder and the hair. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day that you get an accusation like that one. A mirror. Fingering? Fingering Darian Crescend? Fingering? That's a weird way to phrase that. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective. And a murderer, apparently. Could it really have been his voice Lamiroir heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it. Hey, no wimping out now, Apollo. Well, we need to wimp out because I gotta... Okay, good. Whew. I was like, I'm running a little long today. I literally have to log off like right now. Like right now. Save progress. Yes, please.